I don't know how many times I have to keep saying this whenever I rewatch Joker, the 2019 film. But if this is the last time I have to say it, please make this be the last time I say this. And Joker 2019, the film, he is not a villain. He is a fucking victim. I get it that he killed his mother and he killed Randall, but let's call a spade a spade. Tell me with a straight fucking face that his mother and Randall didn't deserve it. Tell me. Because Joker, even in Arthur, I'm going to say, even though Arthur killed his mother, killed Randall, and killed Murray, can y'all really say with a straight face that they didn't deserve it? Because I'm going to tell y'all, they deserve it. Like I've been saying for the longest, now that I'm older, I kind of agree more with a villain than I do with a hero. I know it's like you can see where a villain comes from because they're like, what's the best way I can describe it? In the trenches, I guess you can say. Like, okay, in Lion King, a lot of people probably didn't agree with the way Scar went at things. Even as a child, you don't agree with it. Even when I got older, I didn't agree with it. But when they made the Mufasa movie, if you're going with the whole thing that he saved Mufasa and him and Mufasa are adopted brothers, then it's like when you watch the 1994 film of The Lion King, it's like, oh, okay, I definitely agree with what everything Scar did. Because why not? I saved you. You took my position of king from me. And it's like, if Scar was the next heir to be king, how can I sit here with a straight face and say what he did to Mufasa was not right? Was not right. That don't make sense. If I was next in line and you come in here and you took it from me, then bitch, yes, I have every right to take you out, even if it's petty, even if I can't live with the guilt, even if it's it's wrong, it's wrong. At the end of the day, nigga, I was next in line, I saved your ass, and you took everything from me. As far as I'm concerned, yes, bitch, I'm taking you out. It's like, now you can say with a straight face, yes, Scar was right. But I feel like when I watched the Joker film, I feel like whoever did Arthur wrong definitely deserved it once he stopped taking his medication. Once he felt like he was no longer going to allow life to beat him down and it was time for him to regain control, he had every right to get every one of those motherfuckers who did him wrong. I don't give a fuck. His mother was neglectful. She allowed her child to get beaten, to get abused, physically. I guess sexually too. I guess because in the second film they're saying that he was abused physically and sexually. I don't know where that came from because in the file it was not in the file. When in the flashback, when he's like when he imagined himself in the room when his mother is like basically saying she does not remember, adopting him. Whoever this person was, doctor, social services worker, whoever, they did not say when they was reading the file on what happened to her, what happened to Arthur. They never mentioned anything sexual abuse. They said he was beaten over the head, tied to a radiator, hasn't eaten for days. Basically, was being starved. Like, and you sit here and tell me he didn't have a reason taking his mother out? Shit. I probably would have done the same thing. Like, because it's like, you neglected me. You allowed your boyfriends to beat me up. You didn't feed me. She said that she never heard him cry because he was always such a happy little boy. And this is probably, oh my God, Joaquin Phoenix is such an amazing actor. When he started, like, laughing in that moment, he was crying, right? That's what it sounded like. He was crying. She was getting his laughter mixed with crying because I feel like sometimes when he laughs, it sounds like a cry, right? I feel like you can't sit here with a straight face and say that he didn't deserve, like, she didn't deserve it. She neglected her child. The fuck? And all that time she was obsessed with Bruce Wayne, talking about, she lied to him, talking about he's your dad, because she suffers from delusions. That bitch is definitely delusional. She just felt like in her brain that her and Bruce Wayne were together or whatever it was. None of it was real. None of it happened. She lied to Arthur about She lied to him about everything. Allowed him to get hurt all over her delusions. So I don't even know why the fuck they allow someone who has mental illness to even adopt a child when she is not mentally able to take care of this child. That in of itself doesn't make sense, but I guess times were different, right? Why put that child back into the home when he told y'all he was abused? Huh? Make it make sense. Make it make sense, right? He is a victim due to circumstances, right? Because of his mother's neglect is why his life is so mentally draining. Why people think why he weird. Why people feel like, oh, they can take advantage of him. Because of his mother neglect. She allowed her son to get beaten and not be fed to where now he's okay with being skinny to where his ribcage show. Nothing about that is normal, but she made him that way by neglecting his needs to where, and I love when Just Observation said it the way he said it. In the film, Arthur doesn't feel like an adult, he feels like a child, right? He acts like a child, he doesn't act like a man. That's the inner trauma. That's a child, right? That's a hurt child inside of him that's seeking out for the love and care that he never got as a kid, to where now that he's older, he's trying to seek it out towards other people, right? Because, like I said, you can't sit here and say his mother didn't deserve it. She definitely deserved it. Not only did you lie to me about who the fuck my father was, but you allow everything that happened to me to happen to me. And then with the Randall situation, he took advantage of him. He took advantage of Arthur because he felt like since he has mental illnesses and since he's weird, he was easy to take advantage of. Like, he on the top, he come in there in the job, talk about, I heard about the beat down you took, automatically gave him a gun for protection. And then when Arthur brought the gun to the children's hospital and it fell out and his boss fired him, automatically Randall threw him under the bus, trying to make it seem like he bought the gun off for him when he was the one who gave it to him. Like, huh? I thought you was that nigga friend, but yeah, you threw me under the bus and didn't even tell the truth. So you cost me my job, cost me from making money, so you could keep your job. You fake as fuck. And then with Murray, he's just like everybody else who took advantage of Arthur or has called him weird or has made him feel like an outcast, made him feel like a loner, because all he wants is acceptance. He just wants love, and he just wants someone to be sweet to him. He looked up to Murray as a father figure. He wanted nothing to be on his show. When he does get that chance to do his stand-up comedy, his laughing condition, gets in a way to where it screws up his entire stick, right? Murray pulls up a clip of his stand-up comedy clip, makes fun of him on national television, and only calls him on his show to make fun of him some more. And then you're telling me didn't none of these niggas deserve it? All of them deserve it, because none of them cared about Arthur. None of them really knew what it was like to be him, to walk in his shoes. The way Joaquin Phoenix walked in the movie, he walked like he was way down from the world. Like, the world has physically beat him down to where he kind of walked with a slump, right? Okay, because my sister was just telling me that a lot of fans in the second movie did not like that Arthur was a 30, 40-something-year-old man who was a virgin. And I'm thinking, like, in my head, why doesn't it make sense? You have to think about it. Arthur, his entire life, was in and out of institutions. He wrote about fantasies of the women he fell in love with or had relationships with in his book. His therapist said so. So it's like he had to have fantasies where he was sexually active with women because he never done it before. No, everybody thought he was weird, right? Even women thought he was weird. So it's like, why doesn't it make sense? Why was the scene awkward in the second movie? Yes, it was very awkward. I won't say it was cringe, but I would say it was awkward. The only reason why I would say, if I had to say it was cringe, is only because it's like, okay, if Arthur did have sex, how would he not know where to stick it in, not to thrust, things like that. But since he didn't know any of that stuff, and she had to, pretty much direct him, give him, information, basically give him a pamphlet of, how to have sex. It made the scene awkward because it's like, yo, you kind of forget this man's like 30, 40 something. He's never done it before. But then it's like, also makes sense because he had to write the fantasies of women he was in love with. He lived in a whole fantasy world where he was dating the lady Sophie, right? His next door neighbor that he was obsessed with, right? She said a couple words to him, and then after that, he became completely obsessed with her and fantasized being in a relationship with her. Imagine that they had sex. Just he had to imagine that. So off top, I feel like when I saw that in the first movie, it makes me feel like, oh, he's never been in a relationship before. He's never been, sexually towards a woman because people felt like he probably was weird. So when somebody said that didn't make sense, I'm like, no, it definitely makes sense. It probably don't make sense to you because he a grown ass man, but it definitely makes sense to me. I just feel like when I watch Joker, specifically Joker, Funny I Do, I feel like they do everything in their power to make it seem like he's a villain instead of a victim. And like I said, always rubbed me the wrong way that they had to make him get sexually assaulted for him to finally admit what he did that was wrong. That always rubbed me the wrong way. Like, I didn't like I didn't like the storyline. I didn't like any of the writing for the second movie. The only thing I always say that was good about the second film was Joaquin Phoenix's acting was still top tier, okay? And he's always been an amazing actor. I feel like when he does stuff that's like emotional for you to get him on his side, he does such an amazing job. Like, watch Walk the Line. Walk the Line is one of his best movies he's ever played in. He was definitely robbed from not winning an Academy Award from that because I feel like when it came to being like vulnerable and like the world being weighed down on him because he's on tour, his marriage is crashing, he's in love with another woman, he's constantly on drugs. He did such an amazing job. He has a dysfunctional relationship with his father because his father blames him for his brother's death. He is such an amazing actor who doesn't get his props, and it wasn't until he did this movie where people started saying, "Oh yeah, he really can act." You feel me? That's probably the only good thing about the second movie. His acting was still top tier, and I feel like the shots, um, the cinematography shots were still amazing. Like some of the shots in the movie were like right on, like the shot when he smoked the cigarette, when That's Life was playing, where they had the lady Sophie on the stand talking all of this nonsense, and he just went into another universe where he was singing "The Joker Is Me." Like there was some really good scenes in the movie where I feel like, okay, at least they did something right. But as far as storyline go, this movie is completely trash because it's like he shitted all on the first movie. It's like he forgot what he wrote that made Arthur's character so interesting. I don't think in Joker's Folie à Deux he should have had a love interest, especially if you weren't going to do the story right. But I feel like, and this is the thing that don't make sense. Tom, or Todd, whatever the fuck his name is, he can't say that the Joker movies, Joker 2019 and Joker Folie à Deux, have nothing to do with the DC universe when you literally have Lady Gaga playing Harleen Quinzel. That makes no fucking sense. How is it not part of the DC universe? That makes no fucking sense. That he ain't he living in Arkham? Ain't he in Arkham Asylum? I fucking thought so. Don't he live in Gotham City, nigga? I fucking thought so. So how can you say he's no part of the DC universe when things that was in the movie is called Arkham Asylum, nigga? Make it make sense. So this is the last time we're going to be making this video, and this is going to be the last time I ever say this. Arthur Fleck is not a villain. He is a fucking Vitcm. I'm tired of every time I watch the movie that they do everything in their power to make it seem like he's a villain just because he killed people. I mean, he killed everybody in that movie who fucking deserved it. Period. I don't give a fuck. His mama, Randall, Murray, whoever crossed that nigga when he was nice, he didn't forget that shit when he turned the other cheek, my nigga. So when he turned the other cheek, it was just on sight. What do you mean? So this is going to be the last time I make this video. And please be watching out for my Breaking Bad video that I will try to upload if I can. And I will be uploading my character and analysis on Emma's character from Degrassi. I got a lot of other characters from Degrassi I want to talk about. And then when I'm done talking about some of the characters I want to talk about, then I will start recapping every season from Degrassi, giving my thoughts and everything like that. So please be prepared. That is all. Catch you on my next video.